take a look at a portrait of this kind lady. I wonder what's on the next page. Welcome to Smellomania, a visual perfume review channel, where I actually draw what I smell. 1 month ago, I received a deceptively simple request to review Portrait of a Lady by Frederic Malle, also known as POL in the fragrance community. Not thinking much about it, I replied, "Challenge accepted." I was familiar with the perfume. I've smelled it before a few times. I knew that it was a popular and sought-after fragrance, but not to such an extent that people even went that far and called it the #1 rose perfume of all time. I have to admit, reviewing this type of perfume is both easy and hard at the same time. It's easy because Portrait of a Lady is an insanely powerful, spicy rose fragrance with a nod to the old classics. And it's hard because it's only an insanely powerful, spicy rose fragrance with a nod to the old classics. I admire weird, quirky perfumes where I can immediately see the wildest story unfolding before my eyes. I love being transported into other worlds with the help of a fragrance. In this case, Portrait of a Lady is just a good fragrance. It's so well balanced, so masterfully crafted, and that's it. To truly appreciate its beauty, one should be able to appreciate rose perfumes first. When I was just starting my fragrance journey, I came across a very exciting poll in one of the fragrance lovers groups. The poll clearly asked, "What are your favorite and least favorite notes in a perfume?" I gave my loving votes for blackcurrants and rhubarbs, while leaving the space for the least favorite note blank, and came back a few days later to check on the result. Thousands of people had voted, and the #1 favorite note was rose. Interestingly enough, the #1 least favorite note was also rose. And I completely understand the reasoning behind this love and hate logic. The smell of rose has accompanied humanity since the dawn of time. It's the smell that most definitely lingered around our grandmothers and mothers and is now becoming cool again? Or has it always been cool? I've seen people turning down a blotter dipped into the finest rose oil while simply stating, "I hate roses." And I've also caught some vintage rose perfume on some very cool people. Just like our new neighbors. Every time they open the door to their freshly renovated apartment, a vintage rosy accord fills the air. And they're just the coolest, kindest, and trendiest people ever. I was so boggled for at least half a year. Every time I passed their door on my way down, I could sense that vintage rose perfume. And one day it hit me. What if it's cool again? I'm not gonna lie, Portrait of a Lady does smell a bit vintage to me. However, I've moved from very vintage to a bit vintage during this last month when I wore it almost every day. It had to grow on me since the very first time I wore it. When I first sprayed it on, my immediate thought was, our 88-year-old great-grandmother would absolutely love this. When I met her in person a few weeks later, I immediately presented her with a blotter sprayed with Portrait of a Lady. Yes, I do bring the perfume I'm analyzing and a few blotters with me everywhere I go. Who knows what might occur? She smelled it and shrugged. "It smells herbal," she said. "It's quite strong, and I wouldn't like to smell like that." The official Frederic Malle website is quite discreet about sharing too many notes. All they list is a Turkish rose, in extravagant proportions, even asking us to imagine the smell of 400 Turkish roses, a truly immoderate amount. This whole bouquet is paired with patchouli, incense, and blackcurrant, magnified even further by woody tones and amber. I've also discovered some other notes in other sauces: raspberry, frankincense, ambergris, ambrox, musk. This is a rare case when I can truly say that the notes reflect reality accurately. This classic duet of rose and patchouli gives Portrait of a Lady that soft, undeniably vintage vibe, while ambrox and synthetic musks make it feel modern and up to date. The best analogy I can think of would be to compare this perfume to modern remakes of old Hollywood movies. Portrait of a Lady is like a very classic rose perfume that was rebooted and fitted for the 21st century. She was filmed with a new camera, meaning she was put into a slick, modern bottle. She was surrounded with stunning computer-generated visual effects, meaning she had synthetic molecules joined to her classy, rosy core. Yet, she kept her cool, timeless name, Portrait of a Lady. When I was thinking about what I should draw for this fragrance, I had a brilliant idea. I thought I could draw someone in a red motorcycle suit. Their identity would be completely hidden, except for the hands, showing the true age of that person. I thought that it would be such a cool way to translate my idea of Portrait of a Lady being something cool and modern, but secretly hiding a soft, old-school touch. The red motorcycle suit would have conveyed a feeling of power, since this perfume is really strong and absolutely eternal. I just wanted to draw hands that might belong to a classy lady, but dear God, I think Dracula himself is hiding beneath this costume. I didn't mean to be so dramatic with the hands. Then I had one more idea. Why not take advantage of the name of the perfume, Portrait of a Lady by Dominique Ropion? I would have drawn the coolest lady I could think of. I thought to myself that she could be rollerblading, surfing, paragliding, basically doing anything to show that she's still cool, she's still modern, and she's still got it. And then cut out a square hole in my paper and trick everyone into thinking that Portrait of a Lady is just a simple portrait of a lady, and then unveil the coolest person hiding underneath. This would have been a fun symbol to show that while this perfume feels vintage, it's still modern at the same time. But the more I wore Portrait of a Lady, the more I felt that this perfume is more than just a vintage echo in these modern days. One day, a beautifully soft and round scent caught my attention. I started sniffing everything around me. Was it my new shampoo? Maybe I accidentally bought a scented candle instead of a fragrance-free one? Was it the smell of that weird exotic flower hiding inside the bouquet? No, and no once again. It was my very own wrist with Portrait of a Lady on it. What had happened? Why did this perfume suddenly start smelling completely different on me after 1 week wearing it daily? It felt wonderfully sweet, creamy and subtle. Maybe my perception of a rose fragrance has changed. The perfume community undoubtedly mainly loves Portrait of a Lady. However, what I found the most interesting was the debate over the unisex qualities of this perfume.
Portrait of a Lady, one of my favorite fragrances of all time.
An absolute bona fide modern classic.
Absolute unisex, can be worn totally by men.
Expensive lushness.
I'm not a big fan, and I wish I was, of Portrait of a Lady.
Portrait of a Lady, to me, is a perfect fragrance.
Wow, wow, wow.
She's beautiful.
It did not blow my mind.
Is not a woman scent only.
And guys do wear this, but I really think it is a portrait of a lady.
This gets a lot of love in the fragrance community. Some hate as well, of course, but mainly just a lot of love.
And this gets a lot of appreciation from Smellomania too. Portrait of Lady is advertised as a unisex fragrance. The only thing that leaves the public so baffled is the name. If only the same formula was named differently, there would be a lot less debates. The fragrance would be deemed slightly more feminine or even completely unisex, and everyone would carry on with their lives. But what if the seemingly simple yet very controversial name for a unisex fragrance is part of its success? Have I just uncovered the biggest secret? And then a brilliant thought came to me. A perfect comparison, an excellent analogy. Portrait of a Lady is like a pearl necklace. It's timeless, classy, and a true staple in every lady's accessories cabinet. And I wouldn't be lying if I said that the absolute majority of people associate pearls with high-class madams who've had a bit more experience over the years. But you know what's the beauty in my analogy? It's that everyone can wear pearls. You just have to know what you're doing and wear them with absolute confidence and become a trendsetter. Naturally, I wouldn't gift Portrait of a Lady to a man or would recommend buying it unless they have a really cool sense of humor and a very fine taste in perfumery. Because this perfume could absolutely work on anybody who's bold enough to rock it. Just like that pearl necklace, this perfume wasn't made to keep you blended in with the crowd. It was made to stand out. 1 or 2 sprays will suffice since it's a very strong perfume. If you overdose, you might drown in attention. Has Portrait of a Lady become one of my favorite perfumes of all time? No. Have I learned to appreciate its beauty and why people absolutely adore it? Most definitely. It's something familiar, very classy and classical, yet modern at the same time. Portrait of a Lady is extremely powerful, long-lasting, and of really high quality. What surprises me most about this perfume, and maybe one of the reasons why people love it, is that it's so powerful and eternally lasting without smelling too synthetic. It feels natural, soft, round, elegant, sweet and spicy in just the right places. So well balanced. Truly a masterpiece by Dominique Ropion. So I drew a pearl necklace that reflects anyone who's ready to take on the responsibility of wearing Portrait of a Lady as their perfume of choice. Thank you so much for watching and see you on the other one very soon. Bye!